All right, gang, welcome back. And this week we're going to do something a little bit different. We don't do a lot of these, but we're going to do a review video on the campground that we're at right now. It's a resort.
Yep.
Now, this is not one of those super fancy resorts, you know, that's like $2,500 a month or anything like that, but it is a resort. They got all the resort-like amenities, and we thought that it warranted its own video.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to talk about at a high level, and then we'll dive into each of those topics.
So we're going to talk about the types of sites and the current pricing, booking process if you're looking to stay here over the winter, amenities, and I guess our pros and cons. Would we stay here again? Would we recommend it?
Okay, so which ones do you want to dive into first?
I'm thinking probably the types of sites.
Okay.
So they've got everything that you're used to, you know, they've got back in, they have pull through, and they have pull in. And both the pull through and the pull in come in covered or uncovered options. That can be nice, mainly I guess if you're here in the summer. I don't
The covered sites?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about the covered sites. I don't know that it's worth spending extra money for or on. The reality is that the way that the sun comes down here, you know, especially in the wintertime, which is when a lot, you know, the winter Texans are down here.
Yeah.
You know, that sun is down at an angle. I just don't think that it really protects your RV from much of anything.
So far, I really haven't seen much in the way of shading the rig or like your campsite where you're going to be hanging out, you know. So I don't think that I would pay the extra money, but
now it might provide a little bit of shade off to the side where you can set up a table or something like that. But just realize a covered site, while they do kind of look neat, for us, I'm just not sure that would be worth the extra price.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic of the sites themselves, they're huge.
Yes.
I think that most of these sites are so big that they could actually be two sites, and it would still give you more room on either side of your rig than most campgrounds that you would go to.
Yeah, I mean, your yard is ginormous, and then the site lengths themselves are very generous. I mean, we're 44 feet, and we comfortably fit end to end in our site. Plus, we could have fit what, like a small car.
Yeah, so we have
us.
the truck in front, and then we have the rig in the middle, and then easily if we had like another vehicle, we could fit another vehicle. I couldn't fit the truck back there because the truck's 22 feet long, but you could easily fit like a sedan back there of any size, or you know, a more compact pickup truck like a small Ford, you know, like a whatever they are, Rangers or Tacoma, something like that. You could easily fit. I think we measured it out at almost 100 feet, didn't we?
Yes. So the pull in and the pull through are very generous. The back ends are shorter, but they're double width. So park your rig, park your truck. I think they did a good job on site spacing and site lengths.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to refer to my notes here, but if you want to stay, so the prices range from $49 per day. And obviously it's cheaper in the warmer months because who wants to be in southern Texas in August?
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, not me. And $245 a week, which honestly isn't bad, but in the winter they have certain rules. So the back-end sites, because most of the back-end sites are taken by the contractors, so those are 30-day minimum all year round. And the rest of the sites, so if you're like a winter Texan and you want to be here for 1, 2, 3, 6 months, kind of the big negative that I see. So this year we were able to get in for just a month. Our friends were here for 2 months. Next year they're instituting a policy that if you want to stay over January or February, you have to book for 90 nights minimum. So I don't know what their rates are going to be for next year. We paid $1,049 a month just for the lot, and then we're paying electric on top of that. So if you're a kind of, I guess, typical winter Texan and you're going to be here for 3 or more months, doesn't really affect you. But for us, that just wouldn't have worked because we don't want to be anywhere for 3 months at a time.
Now, I'll say this though, if you're one of those people that's used to going down to Florida for the wintertime, it is far cheaper here.
Yeah.
And where we are here, this is Brownsville, Texas, so we're about as far south as you can get in Texas.
Yeah.
And the weather here has been pretty great. We've had a few days that were not so nice. There was about a 4 or 5 day stretch in there that was in the 40s, and it was just rainy and overcast, and it was just
I think
gross.
most of the country was like that.
Yeah, it was. The other thing is, it was really freaking windy when we first got here. I mean, we're talking about 30, mid 30s gusts, sometimes up into the 40s.
Yeah.
And they called them gusts, but I mean, it was pretty much just all day long,
Constant.
35 to 40 mile an hour winds. Now, the past 10 days or so has been really nice. You're talking breezes in the low to mid 20s, and that's still a little bit high, but it really helps to keep it cool, helps to keep the humidity down a little bit, helps to keep the bugs down a little bit. So those mid to low 20s wind gusts have actually been pretty nice for the last week and a half or so.
Yeah, I mean, when you're sitting out at the pool and it's 85 degrees and you've got this nice breeze going, you're not sweating to death. So, and the bugs, I really haven't had any issue with bugs except a few times when we're walking Wicket right around dusk and there's no wind. Then the bugs kind of come out, but the rest of the day, I haven't been bothered at all.
Yeah. So it's a lot cheaper than Florida. And I think in this particular area, this specific area, the weather is a lot like Florida. So anyway, the point of this segment was the price. The price here in this general area in Brownsville is very, very reasonable.
Yeah, it's on par.
And we're going to talk here in just a minute about what that price gets you while you're here.
Yes.
Right, like we said, it's a resort. It may not be a high-end resort, but it is a resort. They got some good amenities, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and unfortunately for this area, there's not a lot of quality RV parks.
Yeah.
So honestly, I mean, if they didn't have that 90-day stay requirement,
Be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I mean, this was a serious contender. We'll talk about our plans for next winter, but this was a contender for what we were going to do next year. Where we're going to come back here, try and find something different, go to a different state, whatever. But this was definitely, because we came here, we thought that at least we knew what we were getting into, with this place. But we'll talk about that again here in just a minute. Okay, so now let's talk about amenities and activities. So you can see the pool behind us. The pool behind us is great.
Beautiful.
It's really, really nice. Again, before we got here, we said that we almost never use the pool at the campgrounds we go to, but we've spent a lot of time at this pool because it's so nice.
Almost daily.
Yeah. So it's a heated pool. So the heated part of it is when it got down into the 40s, and because we don't use pools very often, I have no clue like how low the temperatures can get and the pool's still warm. But when we came out of those low temperatures, that pool was not warm. They said that they just shut the heat off. And I'm just guessing that's because it just couldn't keep up with those, especially the overnight lows. I think, low 30s and the overnight lows just couldn't keep up. So it took probably 3 days for it to come back up. But we did brave it one day.
We did.
I think it was the first day that
it was nice enough to
come back to the pool, and it was frigid. I don't think that water couldn't have been more than about 60 degrees. But anyway, the pool area is super nice.
Yes.
You can see around here lots of lounge chairs. We have 2 days ago was probably the busiest day we'd seen it so far since we've been here, and there were still open lounge chairs. So plenty of chairs to go around.
Yes, plenty of chairs. They're nice. They're comfortable, like he had mentioned previously. They're wide enough, so they did a good job with the pool area. And like any negatives that we've previously said during this, they did a good job on the amenities. I mean, the pool, the gym. Jeremy's been using it pretty frequently.
Yeah, I've been trying to go at least every other day,
and it's probably best equipped gym at an RV campground resort
definitely.
that I have ever seen.
Yeah, they've got everything. They've got the the balls, the weighted balls, the balls that you can like lay back on and do sit-ups on and stuff. They've
The
got
exercise balls, the Basu.
Yep. They've got all of the free weights, plus they've got an all-in-one, it's like a Smith machine, but I don't think it's I don't know what you call it, but it's in one of those all-in-one machines. They got 2 treadmills, 2 seated bikes, 1 stair stepper, yoga mats, everything you need.
Resistance bands,
yes.
TRX
The ones that
systems,
hang off the wall. The only complaint I have is when I go in there, I generally get there a little bit after 7 in the morning, and it's about 72 degrees in there, and that's too warm.
Yeah, too warm.
When you're in there and you're running on the treadmill, that's too warm. I don't think the air is running at all, so not only is it really warm in there, but it's also extremely humid in there first thing in the morning. So, it would be nice if it was a little cooler, maybe around the 68 degrees or so, but
even lower.
or at least just have a fan running in there or something. Just a fan running. But a very nice gym that I've really enjoyed using since we've been here.
I haven't been into the bathhouses out in the park, but the bathrooms here are really nice. There are 3 bathhouses on the property scattered around, and each one has individual showers, a bathroom area with, at least the women's had like 2 stalls, and each bathhouse facility has its own laundry room as well. So there's 3 laundry rooms scattered throughout, and you can either pay by quarters or you can download an app and pay with a credit card.
Oh, that's nice.
And the app also enables you to, it tells you like, oh, your washer's done. So you don't have to sit there necessarily. You can go get it.
Fancy. Okay, and then pickleball courts. We have pickleball courts, and that is something that we really thought we were going to do when we got here. Turns out we have not played pickleball at all.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen anybody at this pickleball court in probably 2 weeks. I don't know why.
I wonder if all of our pickleball players have left.
Maybe they moved on. I don't know. But we've got pickleball courts, and then we've got the shuffleboard courts, whatever you want to call them, that were super nice as well.
And so in the other section where the like beer garden and the playground are, they've got horseshoes, bocce. They've got a pretty decent playground for the kids. The beer garden, it's kind of an open area with, I think it's like pea gravel. There's an outdoor kitchen over there with grills and prep counters and whatnot.
Yeah, they call it a beer garden. Now, they don't have a liquor license here on site, so it's not an actual beer garden. It's really just a place for people to hang out, a nice place for people to hang out. They got a couple of fire pits and some picnic tables and so forth, and some grills that you can use. So it's just really just a nice place to hang out. We haven't used it.
We thought we would.
Yeah, we thought we would, but it's mostly just, I think because we're not on that side of the campground, it's not, we can't
convenient.
see it. Yeah, we can't see it. So we didn't use it much, but it's there and it is very nice.
Yeah, and there's a pond on site, but it's...
Yeah, our friend said it's a catch and release pond. So I haven't seen anybody out there fishing, but if you're on that side back there and you're up against it, it does sound nice. They got a couple of fountains running in there, so it's kind of aesthetic and nice. The only problem is that's also closest to the railroad tracks, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Other amenities include they've got a pretty nice game room inside, so they've got a table tennis, pool table. They've got a game room with 3 arcade games.
Well, it's 3 arcade games. So one of them's it's actually multiple because it's like one of those shooter games where they give you like a shotgun, and there's multiple shooting games on that. Then there's a golf game.
Okay.
And then you have one of those old, like you used to see them in the Pizza Huts and the whatever. You sit down and you can play Pac-Man or Galaga, and it's got like, I don't know, 20, 25 games on it.
Like that,
of the old retro games. Like I said, Pac-Man, Galaga, Dig Dug was on there. And it's all free. So you just walk up and you push a button, 1 player, 2 player, and it starts. So that's kind of neat that's in there as well. Yeah,
and all of the amenities that we've mentioned, pickleball, shuffleboard, they have all the gear for it. So they've got the paddles for pickleball and the little wiffle balls. They've got the shuffleboard. They've got the bocce balls. They even have a bag with like table Jenga, so the pieces are a little bit bigger than normal.
And they got cornhole, which had the cornhole out yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't see it now, but they got cornhole. So those are kind of the amenities. The amenities, like she said a while ago, anything that negative that we've said about this place so far, the amenities kind of more than makes up for it.
Yes.
So I don't think we missed any of the amenities. We talked about the clubhouse, pickleball. We talked about the shuffleboard, the gym, the different bathhouses.
Putting green.
Yeah, they've got a putting green. It's kind of small. It's a little bit cheesy.
Oh, so they've also got 3 dog parks. 2 of them are located next to the bathhouses, 2 of the bathhouses, and then one of them is located kind of off by itself at the end of a row, and that's the biggest one. But yeah, they've got the 3 dog parks, and then they've got doggy waste stations set up.
Not enough of them, but there are some out there.
Oh, so before we get off of amenities, so this is something that a lot of people want to know is Wi-Fi. So there is free internet, and it's what, DSL?
I don't know what it is,
cable.
but it's you have to plug in, right?
Yes.
You got to have the Cat 5 cable, and you just plug right into the pedestal, kind of like you're plugging into the the actual cable, and then you have to run that in, and then so you got to have your own router. And we've heard that it's pretty good, that it's pretty reliable. So those are the amenities. Now let's talk about the activities, because they do lots of activities here. We thought we were going to do more.
Yeah.
We ended up not doing a whole bunch of them. That has nothing to do with the park. It just has to do with us. We were busy doing other things. Like I said, we've got friends here, so we were kind of hanging out. We were going out into town a little bit. So what were some of the things, though, that were, I guess, the highlights of the amenities the activities that we could have done?
Okay, so every single week, they typically have at least 2 restaurants that they go to that obviously you're paying for yourself, but you go as a group. We did a winery once. They did a shrimp boil while we were here. They've gone to Mexico twice since we've been here as a group, and some people are concerned about that, but it's safety in numbers. They provide you with a tour guide, I guess, who takes you into the safe areas. And this is a very safe area. I mean, we've never. Yeah,
it's a safe. This area is a lot different than I thought it was going to be. If you've never been to Brownsville, Texas, I was expecting 20,000, 30,000 people, but the sign that I saw, I think the population is like 200 and something thousand.
Yeah, it's a big city
in Brownsville, so it's a big area. There's all the shopping that you could possibly want to do is here, but that's kind of off topic. But yeah, it's a safe area. And we've heard that several times, that there do tend to be some issues outside of Brownsville, either side of Brownsville, but Brownsville itself seems to be a pretty safe area.
Yeah.
So, activities also, they do the poker run every week. And I think we covered this before, but a poker run is basically like a beer crawl, but you're playing poker as you go. They have different stations set up at different people's RVs, and they provide whatever kind of drink, some kind of alcoholic and non-alcoholic drink, some snacks, and they do bingo.
Yep, bingo, I think at least twice a week.
Yeah.
They've got shuffleboard, where you can play anytime you want, but they actually have hey, if you want to play with other people,
sign up.
Whatever. Yeah. They've got pickleball every morning at 9 a.m.
Which they are playing, now that I said that I haven't seen anybody playing. But the other thing we missed on the amenities, going back to the amenities, is the full kitchen.
Oh, yes. Yes, there is a commercial kitchen in the clubhouse that is free for residents to use. You kind of just want to make sure that nobody else is already in there. There's one lady who lives here full time. Her husband works in the area, and she's the resident baker. She's made cheesecakes, and she's currently making king cakes for Mardi Gras.
Yeah, this was the person that I mentioned in the previous video that could make the kolaches for us. That didn't work out. So the amenities and the activities here, like I said already, more than make up for anything negative that we have to say about this place.
Yes.
We'll still get to our final thumbs up or thumbs down on this place here when we're done. But the amenities here are pretty good. They've got their activities coordinator is actually a paid employee. So that's good. It's just not some volunteer coming in off the streets that's just looking for a free site, which it can be good and bad. But so he seems to be really invested in the whole process.
One thing that we had mentioned was they do happy hour every week.
Yes.
And with that, they also bring in a food truck. And so there's typically a food truck 2 nights a week. One coincides with happy hour, and then the other one I think is Friday. They've got a guy from the area who shows up every Wednesday morning with fresh vegetables and produce in general, like grapefruits, cucumbers, onions, yeah. And then they just brought in a new food truck with organic produce, grass-fed beef, and freshly caught shrimp. So
yeah, they really try to make it so that you're not just coming here and hanging out in your rig for 3 months.
Yeah.
Right. They're trying to just provide a lot of things for you to do.
And community.
Yes, and community. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that wraps it up on the
amenities. Yep, and the activities.
All right, so we had to turn around here because, as you could probably see, the sun was starting to poke through. Not good for this setting. And now that we've turned around, the sun's gone again. But anyway, so now we got the clubhouse behind us, right next to the pool. But we wanted to kind of transition now into the negatives of this park, the cons, if you will, or just the things that we don't like as much.
Right, and none of them are really big. For me, at least, because of the section that we're over in, and we'll kind of explain that here, is, so one of the amenities is they offer the twice daily trash pickup. Well, they've got these grackle birds out here, and I'm not kidding you, as soon as you put your trash out, the birds are on it. Like, as soon as you walk away, they're on it. They're pecking, they're pulling things out. And then another kind of negative, and it's to the whole area, it's not to the park itself, is it's constantly windy. So the birds pull these pieces out, the wind picks them up and just blows it everywhere. And they would have to have an entire team of groundskeepers constantly picking up small pieces of trash to stay on top of it. The other thing, and it's worse in our section because we're really close to, that's where the dumpster is. There's only one set of dumpsters on the property, and it's over in that section. And in my opinion, it feels like they don't have it emptied enough, because more often than not, both dumpsters are mounded over. There's trash bags sitting on the ground because the guy who comes and picks up the trash, there's no more room. So they're just sitting on the ground. And so that just creates just trash everywhere. But I haven't noticed it as much over here in the front section, the nicer section that we had talked about earlier. That takes care of the wind. So the wind, and again, it's the whole area. It's not this part, which contributes to the trash. The other thing is that, except up here by the clubhouse, the sites have not a lot of grass. It's kind of mostly weeds. So,
yeah, it's very patchy. It's just not maintained very well. They don't. I did see some sprinklers the other day though.
Okay.
But it was in more of the common areas.
Yeah.
Not the actual RV sites itself. So the RV sites itself are, ours it's just really dry.
Yes.
It's South Texas here, and the dog doesn't like to walk through it because it's very dry. It's very, I'm sure it doesn't feel very good to him. It's still got some of those goat heads that like to get in his paws down here.
Oh yeah, I got attacked yesterday by a weed, and I thought I actually had a thorn or something, but it was just a weed just got me.
So the grass here isn't great, but you know what? We find that in a lot of parks. The grass just isn't, the yards are not very nice. But, when you call yourself a resort, in my opinion, if you're gonna call yourself a resort, you need to look like a resort.
And then my last negative would be the road and the train noise. Now the train is not that bad. It doesn't go past very frequently, and they only blow their horn 4 times.
Yeah, they don't blow it very much when they go by.
Yeah, and it's not like an extended.
Yeah.
You know, so it's honestly the train is not an issue. The bigger issue is the resort sits right on this highway, and so you've got a good bit of traffic. But over where we are, it's on a side road, and I'm not sure where they're going. It could be to the railway, but there's constant truck traffic
Big
through
truck
there.
traffic, semi-truck traffic.
Yeah, dump truck, semi-truck, and that section of the road is unpaved. So as they're driving through there, typically they're not flying. I mean, they're driving pretty slowly, but that dust gets kicked up.
Yeah, there is a lot of dust on that side where we are. We have kept our windows and doors closed probably 90% of the time we've been here. And the dusting that has to happen, there's a lot of dust inside the rig.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna...
It's not like we're in a sandstorm or anything, but it's something you got to keep up. You got to keep up with, otherwise it could get out of hand. Yeah,
those were, unless you had something else, those were kind of my only.
No, that's it. And like we said, it's not something that would prevent it. None of that is anything that would prevent us from coming back here. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the one thing, it's not listed as a con, or we didn't talk about it as a negative, but one of the things that might prevent us from coming back here is if you want to be a winter Texan down here, you know, January, February, you got to commit to 3 months. That's not something that we're gonna do anytime soon. So next year we're committed to 2 months in the same spot, and that's a long time for us to be sitting still. A month has been a long time for us sitting still. So that alone, you know, having to be here for 90 days over those 3 months, that would be a deal killer for us.
And in order to make your reservations, they require a $500 non-refundable deposit. So if anything happens, you're out $500.
Yeah. And I don't know when that changed, because when we booked this before, that non-refundable fee was pretty low. Like, it was something that was
$250.
Yeah, it was something like, okay, well, you know, if we lose it, we lose it.
Yeah, it would have sucked, but
yeah. So now it's double that. Don't know what the reasoning is for that, but.
And then the other negative for us is that you can reserve a site type and not pay a site lock fee. But if you want a specific site, or you want to be guaranteed, okay, I don't want to be over in that other section, it's $150 to lock in your site. That is the highest I've ever seen. Like, let us know in the comments if you've seen a site lock fee that steep. Because normally, I think the highest one I've seen up until this point has been like $25. So one, the $500 non-refundable and the $150 site lock. Like, are we just out of the know? Is that kind of normal for resort-ish places? Or is this a new thing? Like, just let us know in the comments.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up and just kind of give our final thoughts on this place as to whether we would come back. Now, I think I just kind of alluded to whether we would or would not. I would definitely come back here. Like I said, the deal killer for us is we're not gonna stay for 3 months. And when you have to book for 3 months, that kind of kills it for us. But, you know, if we were down here in maybe April for some reason, we would come back here. If we were outside of that period where you had to lock in for 3 months, I would come back here. We are going to stay somewhere else next year, though. And I don't know that has so much to do with this place specifically, or, you know, we just wanted to do something different. So the place we're going to next year is it's an older community, and what I mean by that is the average age there is going to be even more than here, I think.
Yeah, it's a 55 plus community that we're going to go to. But most 55 plus communities have a certain percentage of younger than 55 that they'll allow in. Typically, you have to be, you know, over 40 or over 45. You can't have kids that are like living with you. So yeah, it's gonna be a little older. I mean, this is kind of old.
Yeah, I would. Based on what I've seen, I mean, we're some of the youngest here. Besides the contract workers that are here, they tend to be a little bit younger. I would say the average age here is probably 65.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, back to the point is, I would stay here again. I think that their amenities and their activities, if that's something that you're interested in, is really the main thing that they've got going for them here.
Yeah, if you come to stay here for any length of time over the winter, you know, and you're bored, that's your fault.
Yeah, that's for sure.
There's plenty to do here as far as amenities. There's activities that kind of meet the whole gamut of interests.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're okay with staying somewhere for 3 or more months, definitely check this place out.
Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for this episode, this review, and I think we're going to put some information down below.
Yep. We'll put the link in the description so you can just hit their website and check it out for yourself.
Okay, so we're done.
Yep.
Hope you got something out of this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down there. Make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Make sure you hit that bell button so that you're notified of all of our future videos. And until that future video,
Happy camping and stay safe out there.